Good morning. Welcome to our town of Coffee. This morning we're going to be talking with Guy Rocha, who's a great historian of Nevada history. Right now we're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsor.
The Carson Mall has fantastic food. All this and more at the Carson Mall.
And we're back talking with Guy Rocha, the retired state archivist.
Right, happily retired now for more than a year and a half.
Yeah, but you're not really retired.
I don't retire from
the history and everything. You're not sitting around in a rocking chair.
No, history is my life. So I find myself still writing my column for the Reno Gazette-Journal, and I'm associated with presentations and productions and events. So what would you like to talk about?
Well, let's see, you were just talking about there's an anniversary coming up down south at Hoover Dam coming up.
Boulder City at the Boulder Theater. This will be, I believe, the third week of September. I'll fly down, and it's the 75th anniversary of the dedication of what was then called Boulder Dam in September 30th, 1935. But it's been Hoover Dam since 1947, since Congress agreed to go back to Hoover Dam. Boulder Dam was never official anyway. Yeah. But FDR, people remembered it. They didn't like Hoover. So anyway, that was a stigma at one time.
Yeah. So I mean, how did Hoover? So did Hoover Dam, the construction, start under the Hoover administration, or was it under FDR?
No, you're right. The construction actually started under Herbert Hoover. Yeah. And that construction, 1930, 1931, and the dam originally was known as the Boulder Canyon Dam. They were going to build it in Boulder Canyon, but they ended up building it in Black Canyon, and then they ended up naming it for Herbert Hoover officially. Yeah. But when FDR was elected and his Secretary of the Interior, Harold Ickes, no way. He says, it's going to be Boulder Dam. No way we're going to name it for Herbert Hoover. And so it took till 1947 with Harry Truman consenting. It became Hoover Dam. Yeah. What we're going to do at the Boulder Theater is celebrate that 75th anniversary of the dedication, which was covered by the media at the time. Radio was a live broadcast from the dam itself, and there was filming, so you had your newsreels, etc. The people sponsoring it are Amy Arnez and Desi Arnez Jr., who live down there, and I went to school with Amy in elementary and junior high school. And there'll be a panel of people talking about the significance and the construction of, let's call it Hoover Dam, and what it meant to the Southwest. And there'll be some Chautauqua. Frank Mullen Jr., who was with the Reno Gazette-Journal, is going down. He's going to be Babe Ruth, and so it's really a two-day event, and it's a wonderful opportunity. I've written extensively about Hoover Dam. I've been in numerous productions, the PBS American Experience, etc.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's great. Then another historic thing coming up, though, is just not very far from here.
Now, this is right down the road, so the folks in Carson City can be part of the Dayton Valley Days, which is in that September 17th, 18th, 19th, right in there. I don't have my exact dates, but I think I'm right. And it's the making of the Misfits. It's the 50th anniversary of the shooting of that film back in 1960, and a significant portion of that film was shot in Dayton. Yeah. So we're going to have the regular parade on that Saturday at 10 o'clock. I'm one of the parade marshals along with Kay Winters, and I look forward to it. And we're going to revisit this. This is the last time for a number of people who are extras, etc., their age, etc., that will actually enjoy this experience, because people are passing from the scene. Yeah. All that's left is Eli Wallach and what's his name, Kevin McCarthy. Everybody else has died.
Yeah. So we're going to take a short break right now and come right back afterward from our sponsor.
Care. It's a word we hear every day. But what does it really mean?
It means loving what you do.
Care is respect, dignity, kindness, and joy.
It means being passionate about what you do.
Care is what we do every day.
It means everything to my patients. I am healthcare that does care.
I am Carson Tahoe.
And we're back and talking with Guy Rocha about the Dayton Valley days and the Misfits, the filming of the Misfits. You know, the Marilyn Monroe and.
Eli Wallach. I was talking to you about him. He played Guido. He flew the plane in the movie. We tried to get him. He's still alive. He's 94, going to be 95 in December. Lives in New York City, I think in Brooklyn, where he was born. And unfortunately, wasn't able to make it. Laura Tennant pursued him through his agent. You know, gosh, he's had a tremendous career. He's still making movies.
Really? Wow.
And he's got a good relationship with Clint Eastwood because of the Sergio Leone Italian movies, you know, The Good and the Bad,
there we are,
Ugly, and all the rest. And we would have loved to have gotten him. There's some talk of trying to get Kevin McCarthy, or perhaps John Clark Gable, who is the son of Clark Gable. We're trying to track him down right now. And unfortunately, his father died while his mother was pregnant with him. He never did meet his father.
Oh, wow.
So that movie, you know, was a big deal. Much like The Shootist is here in Carson City, going back to 1976, and John Wayne. That's Dayton's big movie.
His last movie, and that was
Clark Gable's last movie. Good point.
Marilyn Monroe was.
It was her last feature film. She was making a film, but it wasn't completed prior to her mysterious demise in Los Angeles back in August of '62.
Yeah, so maybe making films here is such a good idea.
Oh, we made a lot of films here. Most people have survived them, but in those two films, you're making a point. John Wayne knew he had cancer at the time in The Shootist, and he played an old outlaw, if you will, who was dying of cancer.
Bernard or J.B. Books.
J.B. Books, that's right, J.B. Books. So these are the kinds of things that I do. I'm not quite as inundated with requests anymore. For the first year, I didn't even feel retired whatsoever, including setting my own schedule. I had to say a lot of no to have free time. But now I can come here, you call me, I could say, yeah, I've got the time. And I'll have more things lined up in terms of productions. I'm working with an outfit, pre-production, on a documentary on migratory divorce in Reno. And that big industry which used to drive the agenda here. And even in Carson City, there were some very famous divorces, including Carol Lombard's from William Powell in 1933.
Yeah, I mean, at one point when you said, hey, you know, if your wife sent you a letter from Reno,
oh yeah,
that meant something a whole lot different than it does now.
And the movies, those movies, including Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Kevin McCarthy, there's an exchange between him and the other lead actress, and basically what they said was, oh, I've just been to Reno, so have I. Never once mentioned divorce, but everybody knew. There was a time when you just said Reno, and everybody understood what that meant. Yeah, things have changed. And I mean, I think that's important to point out that that was such a important part of our industry, our economy. Well, casino gambling's kind of going by the wayside too. It won't disappear like migratory divorce, but our state needs to be something else again. And of course, that's what I talk about a lot.
Of course, they didn't make divorce easy. It's not like you just showed up and signed a paper. You had to reside 6 weeks technically, and someone to go into the courtroom and tell you, the judge, that you had done that. They'd still cross state lines, and it was a fiction in many ways, but you had to spend 6 weeks. Yeah. So. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for having me again.
And we'll bring you back anytime you want to come on, and we'll talk about some more stuff.
And to all the folks in Carson City, I'm still around.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to our town. We'll catch you next time.
The Carson Mall has excellent services. All this and more at the Carson Mall.